I just want to start by just looking back on the closing stages of Saturday down at Crawley, where unfortunately you lost your player Sean Robertson. Nobody can knock his effort for trying, of course, to rectify the initial mistake, what he did when he backtracked and unfortunately got his second yellow. He's a player that's just growing into the game, young player. What will he learn from what happened to him, and what, as you being his manager at the moment, can help him?
I'm not sure it was a foul in the first place. He seems to fall over and Sean runs into him. Look, it is a foul, and he sent him off like that because the referee's done it. I think he's brought some super energy to the team. It looks like he could be a real attacking threat going forward, and just a freshness. Credit to the lad, he rang me yesterday. He rang me yesterday, and I thought it was brilliant. And we had a conversation. It's not violent conduct. I'm obviously really disappointed that we've lost the player through a red card for the closing stages of the game, and then obviously not consequence, but then the follow on from that. But he'll learn. His enthusiasm to get in them areas and win the ball back. He will learn with more game time and more experiences he gets to perhaps stay on his feet at times. But we won't be looking to change him quickly in terms of the enthusiasm he brings to the team.
Did you consider an appeal?
I'm not sure you can appeal the yellow cards. Yeah, you can't. If you can't, and it's so hard to win appeals. If you did anyway, so you can't appeal yellow cards. But it'll be one game, won't it? He's got to keep himself ticking over this week and look to go on Saturday.
Well, you expressed on Saturday how it all was for you in the first half, but it definitely changed for you in the second half, tactically and personnel-wise, and you must have been delighted with that response, and that is something that really, I'm sure you're at your place to build on coming into the Hartlepool game. We
were delighted. Delighted, a bigger word, but we were really pleased with how the second half went. Obviously, what's happened right at the end, can just mark over that a little bit. But I've got to watch the game back as I have done. But like you say, it's definitely a building bridge for us to go. In terms of lots of things, the energy that the players played with, they took control of the ball much better. Players willing to run in behind and work for each other. Not saying they haven't been in the first half, but the second half was a really an indicator of that. And regardless of what formation we pick, and we've said it before, they're the minimums that this team have to produce, and my players have to produce. That's the minimum I ask of anybody who's going to be selected to start a game.
One thing you are going to be asking is, we've got to start better. We've got to be on the front foot. We've got to make it tough for the opposition.
Yeah, we have. Obviously, there's this period in a game at the start of a game where each team feels each other out, but we take that literal sometimes and wait for them to do something. And they've got a bigger feel in the game before we've even had a touch. So yeah, it's something we're conscious of and we have to improve on, particularly at home.
And of course, the change of the formation, has it given you food for thought? It's not the first time you've played it, but you've changed a couple of formations in the last few games. Has that one given you plenty of food for thought now? Yeah,
all formations have. I think all the formations we've played have worked to a degree in certain games. Do we have the personnel to do that again on Tuesday? We will have to see. We're waiting on one or two who are struggling, so we'll have to see. But more often than not, I think it's trying to get players into positions that they're used to and can play. And that's what we've tried to do for the majority of the season, or certainly since I've taken charge. Tried to get players playing in positions that suit them. But like I say, we're waiting on one or two to see what tomorrow might look like.
We're right in the middle of what started out to be a real hectic schedule, and I suppose that is key to you and your staff, how you sort of look after your players and make sure they are right and they can get that 90 minutes in.
Yeah, over this period, it's not necessarily about putting on training sessions. It's more looking after the players to make sure they're physically and mentally ready to go, and then obviously working in the video room with them more than you usually would, and a lot lighter on the grass when you're on there to try and get some information and detail over. But it's ultimately about getting them on the pitch for a Tuesday and a Saturday.
As we mentioned earlier, because of Sean's suspension, it'll open up the the pathway for somebody else to come into the team, and that's the opportunity as a player. you want and you wait for, and you have to take it.
Yeah, again, Graham, we've said this in previous interviews. Whoever comes in is going to have to grab the opportunity, and that's how it's got to be. And play for the team. The players that are coming in, don't play for yourselves, play for the team. We need a real team togetherness, work ethic from everybody, the management, the players, the fans. We need to try and get a right togetherness. I remember commenting a few weeks back how I felt. Obviously, the results at home haven't gone for us, and perhaps the Grimsby performance justifies some of the criticism that we got. But we want to try and create a togetherness, and that comes by the players playing for the team, working hard for the team, to put on some performances, not necessarily performances, but get points on the board.
I want to talk about your top scorer, Dan Ajayi, because it's taken a few weeks for him to get back on the scoring charts. His work rate, nobody can complain about that, but he's got a double. Hopefully he can kick on now. Yeah,
and he got more in them areas. The goal come from a throw and a lovely little pass inside from Ryan, and he got into them areas more in that second half. Something we've highlighted to him, because he does get in them areas, and then we particularly Ryan has got the key to open it up, and we need more of those types of passes. Are they going to come off all the time? No, but the players have got to realise the rewards for attempting those types of passes and the forwards producing their movements are what you saw on Saturday. And we certainly in the second half got him closer to their goal, didn't we? He was isolated on his own a lot on the right hand side, having to work doubly hard to get back, hence why we made the changes.
There's never been a such thing as a 6 pointer in football. It gets used quite a lot, 6 points, but you can never get 6 points no matter who tries. But it is a team that you're playing on Tuesday night who's in and around you in the table, and that's key, isn't it? That you're on the positive side of the result.
Look, every game we play between now and the end of the season is going to be a tough game, and that's the message I'll give to the players. They're tough games regardless of who we're playing, where they are in the league. We have to concentrate on what we're doing. We have to do our jobs properly. I spoke to the players about doing 2 jobs within their role. They have to do that. We have to keep everybody fit. So regardless of who we're playing and where we're playing, we've got to treat every game as the same. We have to. You can't have a moment, a week where you switch off and you think you can take it. Every game is as important as the next one coming.
Well, we're on Hartlepool. It's a bit of a reunion, I think. Just checked out Jamie Sterry, Callum Cook, who we all know was one of the targets in the summer. And of course, your old player who went in January and Ollie Finney, they're all coming back.
Yeah, obviously I don't really know Jamie or Callum. Obviously I know Ollie's only been gone a couple of weeks, so it would be nice to see him. He's only been gone 2 weeks, hasn't he, or whatever it is. So no, yeah, it is. And he's getting them really organised, brought in some good players. They have a real sound structure without the football, and you can see they're attacking a tent with the football. So, like I said, every game is a tough game, regardless of who we're playing and where they're situated in the league.
For what it means, because I've got no idea of when I start talking about who's a good player, but I picked up Joe Amira in the early game in the season, and I thought he was excellent at centre forward. Yeah. How dangerous is he?
Yeah, he's a good player, isn't he? He's got his standout attributes and a bit more. We tasked the centre-halves to deal with that, and we've come up with ways of dealing with that, and the certain things he likes to do in the box, we've got to try and eliminate him doing them, and if he does get into them positions, manage it well. But no, he's a good player, and they have threats coming from everywhere. Ollie will be making runs in behind, the wing-backs are aggressive and go high, so they'll have threats other than just the centre-forward who is a decent player.
And they're under a very experienced manager in Keith Curl. They're battling hard to retain their league status. There's no doubt about it. There's 7, 8, 9 clubs all trying to do that, but Keith Curl knows his way around.
Yeah, he does. Like I say, he's brought in some good players. They're definitely set up sound structurally without the football, and we know where their threats are coming from when they have the ball. He has brought in players to try and change their style of play slightly, which you can see if you look previous to how they play now. There's slight little tweaks to it, but no, very experienced, good guy, been around football forever. We wish him well apart from tomorrow.